Hello and welcome to this Against the Storm tutorial on Resolve. As I mentioned in the introductory tutorial, this series will be covering all aspects of the gameplay, all of the various features and mechanics of the game. However, with the game still being in early access, some of these aspects may be altered slightly or greatly throughout the development period. When that happens, I plan to provide some kind of update, either with an updated tutorial video or at a minimum as a pinned comment. With that said, let's get started. Resolve is denoted by this green bar here that fills up as they increase in resolve. The number shown here is their current resolve level, and the bar shows where they're at sort of relative to, I don't know if this goes up to 100, it doesn't go to 100, but wherever this goes up to, it must be like 50 or something. Shows where they're at. Now there's also on each one of these resolve bars a blue line. That line is the threshold at which resolve starts generating reputation. And as I mentioned in a previous tutorial on reputation, you want that to happen. But the big question is, how do you make that happen? How do you increase the resolve, and perhaps how do you keep them from getting negative resolve in your towns, in your games? Well, resolve is generated by three different categories of effects. And those are all visible here on this pull-out tab for each race. The first category is housing. Everybody likes to live in a house. Everybody likes a roof over their head. Having a roof over their head will give you a small bonus to resolve for each person that has a roof over their head. Our average bonus right now is +3, and our max bonus for affected is +3. That means that we are getting the full effect of being sheltered. We have, actually I don't know what the available means here, but we have 6 people affected, in this case 6 lizards affected. And we have 0 unaffected, so we are getting the full average bonus of +3. That means that each lizard right now has +3 to their resolve just because they live in a house. That is important. And that is actually somewhat key, especially early in the game, as sheltering is the easiest one of all these ideas to accomplish. All 8 things shown here for each race, sheltered is the easiest one to accomplish. So, build houses. Just the basic houses are fine, and in fact, the shelters, that's what this is for, is shelters. Now, if you happen to be late enough in the game that you have the big shelter available, you'll want to do the math on this to make sure that it's worth it. Log to plank ratio. This takes up 50% more space, 6 total tiles. It's a 2x3 building, as you can see here, but it houses twice as many people. So if it's worth it to you for the planks versus the logs, then it's worth it to use the big shelters. It just depends on whether you have a decent enough plank recipe or not, and if you want to bother or not using planks to make shelters, especially if you're going to eventually replace them with species-specific housing, which is the next category. Each species has housing targeted toward them: human house, beaver house, lizard house, harpy house. Each of these houses require specific kinds of materials, depending on the specific race. Harpies require 4 fabric to build a house. Lizards require 2 fabric, 2 bricks. Beavers require 8 planks. And humans require 4 planks and 2 bricks. So you can kind of see there is a number here. Planks being worth roughly half as much as bricks or fabric. It's kind of like you get 2 categories. You either get 4 planks, 2 bricks, or 2 fabric. And you get 2 from those. You get to pick from two of those 3 categories, and they can be the same category, as you can see here from the beavers and the harpies. So building the species-specific housing gives you only 2 spaces per villager, instead of 3 or 6 for the shelters. These are a 2x2 building. All of them are. And they're themed, of course, to look like the buildings that match that race's theme. The species-specific housing is the next category. This will give you an additional bonus on top of the sheltered bonus. As you can see here, I have 5 total beavers. 2 of them live in a beaver-specific house. 3 of them live in general shelters. So only 2 of them are giving me this bonus for beaver housing, so I'm only getting the average bonus of +1. Now, that means that 2 of the beavers have the +3, 3 of the beavers have +0, so you average that out and you get +1. Here, because they're all sheltered at least, they're getting the 3 points for being sheltered. And so that's your first category, it's shelters. The second category is cooked food, complex food, whatever word you want to use there for it. I think they call it complex food in the consumption control. Yeah, complex food. The third category is complex food. There are 5 different kinds of complex food, as you can see here in the consumption control. I'm going to spend a little more time on this in another tutorial. But each race has 2 or 3 complex foods that they like to eat. The humans like jerky, biscuits, and pie. The beavers like biscuits and pickled goods. The lizards like jerky, skewers, pie, and pickled goods. They actually like 4. I forgot that they liked 4. And I don't remember offhand what the harpies like, but you can easily find out here what it is that they like. So we're happen to be currently making both jerky and jerky and skewers here in this village right now, both here in the same building at the butcher. So the lizards are really happy. In fact, we're getting an average bonus of 3 out of 4 points for fulfilling their need for food, complex food, specifically jerky. We're also getting 5 out of 5 points for fulfilling their need for skewers. So there you can see there's a lot of points devoted toward food. And then, of course, they have the other 2 foods as well. Humans are only getting jerky that they need, so they're only getting happy from that. And beavers are not getting any bonus from any food right now. That's the second category, complex food. You'll want to, make sure you get some buildings that have complex food recipes, and make sure that you're able to provide the items to those buildings that they require to make those complex foods. The food recipes are scattered all up and down many, many buildings, so I don't want to go through a list of them at this point, but just suffice it to say that there's buildings, all kinds of buildings that will make complex food. Some of them are found in the food production category here with the farms and such, and some of them are found in the industry. That's because certain buildings will make food in addition to other products, and unfortunately I don't think I have an example here of that. I do not, but make sure you check in both places or use the recipe panel to find out what types of food you can make. Actually, we can make biscuits. We can make biscuits because they're made in a field kitchen, and we can make pickled goods because they're made in a granary and a field kitchen. However, I don't think I have the vessels to store them, so that's why I'm not making them in this demo here. The third category is services. Now, services is everything that's given out in a services building, which are found in the city buildings category once you get 1 or more of them. Here's a temple, for example. But there's one additional type of service, and that's coats. And they're a little bit special kind of service because they're actually effective from the beginning of the game, and they don't require a special building other than the hearth. However, coats can only be worn by beavers and humans. You can see here that having coats will give them up to a 5-point bonus. We're averaging 3 right now for humans and 4 for beavers. So there's another great source of early game, if you can get the recipes to make the coats, pretty early game resolve bonuses as well. The rest of services are sold or given out, or however you want to word it, in a services building such as the temple. I'm going to use the atlas to show you services buildings here because I want to show you how they work. And there's a couple here that are right next to each other, so they're good to use. They each will give out 1 or 2 items. You have to make those items elsewhere in your base. So incense is religion. Scrolls are education. You also have ale, which gives leisure. Training gear, which gives brawling. And also each service building has a passive effect. If you fill it up with enough workers, you will get some sort of a bonus. So if you're going to build a service building, make sure you can just put the workers in it that it needs to get these passive effects. Otherwise, you're losing half the benefit of having the service building. Each race has 2 or 3 categories of services that they like. Humans like leisure, so that's ale, and religion, which is incense. Beavers like leisure, education, which is scrolls, and luxury, which is wine. And lizards like brawling, which is the training gear, and religion, which is incense. So you can see right off the best 2 things for me to make at this point is a building that will take religion and or ale. Religion and leisure, incense or ale, because 2 of my 3 races each like those. Everything else is individual to a specific race. The particular building I have, the temple, does religion and education. So that would actually make, if I was able to make the items for it, that would make the lizards happy, the humans happy, both for religion, and would make the beavers happy because of education. You can see also here how many points they will get if they're affected. 8 for religion, 10 for education. Those are more of a late game bonus that you want to look for. It takes you a little while to get into the game in order to unlock a building, to get a building in your blueprint choices. Sometimes you get a blueprint for one of those buildings as a reward for an order. So keep an eye out for those. We haven't done the hubs tutorial yet, but the 3rd level of hub requires a service building to be in order to get the bonus for that level. So make sure you put a service building within the circle around any of your hearths so that you can get the bonus for the hub level at that hearth. Now, there's one other way to increase resolve for a specific race. However, this negatively affects the other races. Let's say we had some reason that we needed to get the lizards up and above to start generating reputation. We just wanted to do it for a little while, or we wanted to get them to a certain score and we're just not quite there yet. Clicking this button will give them lighter treatment. That will increase their resolve by 5 points, but will affect the other species by decreasing their resolve by 5 points. So right away you can see, oh, the game tells me something. The game highlights the lizard panel with the orange here, even if it's shrunk down. That tells you that you're favoring them right now. Also, this little bubble here tells you that, oh, your current resolve is 14, but it's going to increase to 19 because of an effect you just had. Now, depending on the race's particular resilience, this can go slower or faster. Lizards happen to be a very highly resilient species, so this will go very slowly up to 19, whereas beavers and humans are much less resilient, so theirs will drop to their destination value here much faster. If I unpause and we get to there we go, the lizard's up to 15. Then the lizards now turn blue, and the bar also is turned blue. Well, it's a little hard to see here, the progress bar here. That means that we are now generating reputation from resolve. Only 0.07 reputation per minute right now, but if we had more people, and I believe if the score is higher here, then we generate a bit more. Yes, we generate a little bit more with each increase in the value. So if you need to push them over for some reason, this is the way to do it. However, be careful doing it because you will push the other races down. Let's uncheck that. Resolve is usually okay during the drizzle and the clearance seasons. Now, the counterpoint to that is glade events often decrease resolve temporarily. I don't have a Glade event to show you, but many Glade events, you will have encountered one by now if you've played the game at all, will decrease your resolve at least while you're working that Glade event. That's a global resolve that affects everyone equally. You also will get a decrease in resolve during the storm because of at least this looming darkness effect. This hostility that it caused... Hostility increases the looming darkness for each level of hostility. Level 0 is only a -4 to global resolve. And then every level beyond that adds an additional -4. So you can see that as you progress through the game and get to, say, year 5 here, you're going to have quite a bit of negative resolve being applied to all of your people. So it's worth investing in food, shelter, and services, including coats, to make sure that you mitigate that storm resolve as you advance from year to year. Finally, here on each of the panels is a summary of the effects being applied, both positive and negative, and provides an additional a summary of other effects being applied. Some of those effects come from perks down here. Some of those effects come from the environmental issues, including this hostility to the forest effect, which is caused by the hostility itself. That effect is on top of this looming darkness, because looming darkness only takes effect during the storm. Hostility to the forest, which is found at the bottom of the hostility to the forest panel, tells you how much resolve you're getting nixed by based on the current hostility level. And this happens in all seasons. So you can see here the humans have a +1 combined effect from other sources. I don't know offhand what that source is, but they also have a... I do know what that other source is. That other source is the fact that we have a Lizard Keeper in the Sacred Pyre. There's a +1 to global resolve for having a lizard in the Sacred Pyre, in the Ancient Hearth, getting that Sacred Pyre bonus. Also, the lizard gets a +5 to individual personal resolve from being comfortable. This is given by some of these various specialization bonuses here. Sometimes they're a production bonus, sometimes they're a comfort bonus. You have to actually try it out to see which one it is. But this specific lizard, one lizard, is getting this +5 to resolve. So you can see that effect here as well, that we have one person with the comfortable effect. It says one affected there. I don't want to move my mouse because then it goes away. And we have an average bonus of +1 because we have 6 people, but only one of them has comfortable right now. You can get those bonuses anywhere, though. Here, it's the meat production, so they're getting the proficiency bonus. Actually, maybe meat always causes proficiency and warmth always causes comfortable. I believe that's actually the truth. Sorry for the misspeak earlier. Other buildings have the same effect. The woodcutter's bonus here for beavers gives you the proficiency bonus. The engineering bonus, I believe, gives them... Actually, I believe it gives them the productivity bonus as well. Maybe beavers don't get the comfort bonus. I don't think I have an engineering building here anywhere that I can show you. Wait, I do. I have this one. Beaver? No, I don't have a beaver to show you. Here's one. No, it was correct. They do get the resolve bonus here in a mine as well with the engineering bonus. So one bonus gives proficiency, one bonus gives the comfort. So keep an eye out for those as well, because that's another way to boost a specific race happiness by giving them specific work to do. I believe that covers everything to do with resolve. If I've missed anything, please let me know in the comments or come to my Discord, the link to which you can find in the description below. Take a look at the rest of this tutorial series as well, as I'm covering different aspects of the game per each tutorial. Also, check out my concurrently running Let's Play series, the beginning of which I spent a decent amount of time focusing on a lot of tutorial in a Let's Play. I'm moving away from that as I progress through the towns, and it's going to be more of a standard Let's Play. But at the beginning, I felt like it was worth it to make sure that everyone knew how the game worked, and just in case they didn't watch these tutorials. So it'll be covering a bit of the same things, but it's a different setting, so it's got different uses. So check that out as well. And thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.